Welcome back to Testor's Scale Workshop. My name is Brett Green, and tonight we're going to be talking about masking techniques when you're painting your model aeroplanes. But before we do that, I wanted to respond to quite a number of the questions and comments that I received after last month's video demonstrating my painting technique. Now, I realise that I actually hold an airbrush a little strangely. To demonstrate the conventional method, we're talking about really just cradling the airbrush in the hand and using the index finger to operate the trigger. Now, for some strange reason, I've never actually done it that way. I also hold a pen and a pencil, strangely, much to the grief of my teachers in the 1960s. And I too actually hold it the other way. I cradle it with my hand and operate the trigger with my thumb. The good news is that regardless of whether you're like 99% of people and use the index finger technique, or whether you're a strange operator like myself, the techniques are equally relevant. Well, let's take a look at what we use to mask our models before we paint them. Tonight we're going to revisit the Hasegawa Messerschmitt F109G6 that we started painting in last month's video. As you'll see, I've done a little more work on this. I've refined the lower surfaces that we pre-shaded and painted. I've also finished painting the sides of the fuselage, and I've already applied an upper surface colour. Masking is not just something that we can do to help us paint a camouflage pattern, but it can also be really essential in getting sharp lines of demarcation between various colours on the model. Also very handy, of course, for keeping paint out of areas where we don't want them, such as cockpits, where we've used some just Tamiya masking tape here. And you'll notice as well that we've put some Tamiya masking tape on the side of the fuselage to avoid getting overspray up on the top here. The tail, we've used a combination of Tamiya masking tape and also post-it notes to avoid overspray going on the empennage and the rudder of this model. We've used that on both sides. Let's now think about how we can paint the camouflage pattern on the upper wings and upper tail planes of this model. I could cut out some material myself, or, as I'm about to do, I could actually peel the correct shape off the black magic mask and apply them to this. Now the only real problem with just using the raw mask is that it tends to give you a very sharp line of demarcation, and if you're not careful you can get a build-up of paint along the edge of the mask, which is visible as a raised ridge of paint when the model is finished. So what I'm going to do tonight is use the self-adhesive masks, but we're going to actually lift it off the surface of the model slightly so that we can get a slightly soft edge, and also we can avoid that ridge of paint that we might otherwise see. Now, I've already applied the masks to the starboard wing, and as you can see, a simple pattern now is remove another one of the self-adhesive pieces from its backing sheet, and I'm going to actually reduce the tack. So these are quite tacky, but with camouflage masks you really don't need them to be terribly tacky. So I usually use either the palm of my hand, or, to be honest, because I've got a large forehead, I often use that to reduce the tack of these self-adhesive masking sheets. What I'm now going to do is take a very small blob of blue tack and pull it up into even smaller blobs, and just put little strips and little blobs of blue tack along the masking piece until it looks something like this one that we've prepared earlier. The object of the blue tack is just to lift the mask off the surface of the aeroplane a little bit at the edge so that we get that feathered effect that we're looking for. Now let's stick this one on. This particular piece goes at the edge of the aileron here. It masks off that particular aileron and the flap. We're not going to squeeze it down too hard, because we do want that edge to stay lifted up a little bit. Now I'm going to use a small piece of masking tape just to anchor the mask around the front. Because we've reduced the tack, I don't want it coming adrift at a time that I don't want it to. So there's our mask in place. I'll finish the rest of the masking in the next few minutes. So here we have it, the masked Messerschmitt. The camouflage masks courtesy of Blackmagic. Regular masking tape just anchoring the camouflage masks here and there. And blue tack lifting the camouflage masks off the surface of the plastic to avoid that paint build-up problem that we talked about before. In our follow-up video, we'll be painting the camouflage finish using the masks, removing the masks, and also doing some camouflage mottling along the side of the fuselage. But that's next time on Testor Scale Workshop. Bye for now.